All right, let's set the scene. It's late 2025. You've got a massive project, the deadline is breathing down your neck, and your AI copilot is everything. So who do you bet on? Is it OpenAI's ChatGPT, now running on the beastly GPT-5? Or is it Google's Gemini, with its super powerful 2.5 and 3 Pro models? They're both promising the moon, but as we're about to find out, what they promise and what they deliver, well, that can be two very different things.
So that's really the question, isn't it? This isn't just about who has the biggest numbers or the flashiest new features. This is about trust. When the chips are down and you just need to get the work done, which one of these AIs is going to have your back, and which one is going to leave you hanging? Okay, so let's meet our contenders. In this corner, you've got the reigning champ, the one and only ChatGPT, now powered by the next-gen GPT-5. And in the other corner, the challenger, Google Gemini, stepping into the ring with its heavy-hitting 2.5 and 3 Pro models. This is gonna be good.
Now, if you just glance at the tail of the tape, they look like twins, right? They're both running on their company's flagship model. They're both gonna cost you around $20 a month for the top-tier plan. And they're both plugged deep into the biggest work ecosystems out there, Microsoft Copilot for ChatGPT and Google Workspace for Gemini. I mean, on the surface, it looks like a dead heat, but oh, the devil is absolutely in the details. So, let's do this. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the official spec sheet. What are these companies actually telling us their creations can do? Because this is where we start to see the fundamental philosophies behind these two AI giants. And here it is. This is where their paths really start to split. See, ChatGPT and GPT-5 are all about being your brilliant conversational partner. It's a master of logic, it remembers what you talked about, and it's designed for that deep, creative back and forth. Gemini, though? It's an absolute beast of endurance. It's built to just swallow entire books, whole code bases, massive documents in a single go. So think of it this way. ChatGPT is the brilliant co-author you brainstorm with, while Gemini is the tireless research assistant that reads the entire library for you.
And this, right here, is Gemini's knockout punch, at least on paper. 1 million tokens. A token is basically a word or part of a word. Gemini 2.5 Pro can process 1 million of them in one shot. That is literally like handing it War and Peace and saying, hey, summarize this for me. For comparison, ChatGPT tops out around 200,000. It's a completely different scale we're talking about here.
But a huge memory isn't even the full extent of Google's ambition. Oh no. For 2025, they are pushing this idea of making Gemini agentic. Now, that's the big new buzzword, but what does it actually mean? Well, it means turning your AI from a tool that just answers questions into an agent that actually does things for you.
And this quote from Tech Radar just nails it. An agentic AI doesn't just give you information, it takes your goal and it just runs with it. You don't tell it how to do the thing, you just tell it what you want done and it figures out the steps. It's the difference between asking for a recipe and asking the AI to go ahead and cook you dinner. And this is how you're supposed to unleash it. A simple 3-step prompt. You give it context, you list your requirements, and you tell it what you want at the end. You could literally tell it, build me a landing page for my new app, and it won't just dump a wall of code on you. No, it'll actually build an interactive mock-up for you right there in its canvas. I mean, just think about that for a second. That's not an assistant anymore. That's a one-person dev team. That's the promise, and it is incredible.
But that's the promise, the marketing. And down on the front lines, where people are actually trying to build things, a very, very different story is unfolding.
So, let's get real. Forget the slick product demos for a minute. We're going to head to where the truth lives, forums, like Reddit. This is where developers and power users share the raw, unfiltered, and sometimes just painful reality of trying to use these AIs for their actual jobs.
And what you find there is this, just absolute soul-crushing frustration. This quote, it says everything. It's the feeling that the tool you pay for, the tool you rely on, isn't just failing you, it's actively getting worse. This isn't just a bug report. This is a mental breakdown. It's a cry of professional despair.
And this isn't just one person having a bad day. It's a clear pattern. The very things that are supposed to make Gemini amazing are causing the biggest headaches. That giant 1 million token memory, users say it forgets key details halfway through a session. Those cool agentic abilities, people report it getting stuck in endless loops, deleting their work, and even, get this,
pathologically lying, making up excuses for why it can't do something that it did perfectly fine yesterday.
So, what on earth is going on? The leading theory in the user community comes down to one word: quantization. Okay, the best way to think about this is like compressing a beautiful high-resolution photo. You make the file size smaller, right? So it's faster to send and cheaper to store. But you always lose a little bit of detail. In the AI world, that loss of detail can mean a serious drop in how well the model can actually think.
Which, of course, leads to the big question. Why would Google do this? Well, the number one suspect is money. It costs a fortune to run these massive AI models. So to serve millions of people, especially all the free student accounts, the theory is that Google might be quietly routing your requests to a smaller, cheaper, and dumber model behind the scenes. And that would explain why the experience is so wildly inconsistent. One minute you're talking to a genius, and the next you've got a dud. Okay, so there you have it, the official story and the word on the street. It's a lot to take in. So how do you actually process all this and pick the right AI copilot for the work you need to do in 2025? Let's break it down. Let's get super practical here. If your main thing is creative writing, brainstorming, complex problem solving, ChatGPT is your rock. It's stable, it's proven, and it's reliable. But if you want to analyze massive data sets, or you want to experiment with the future of AI automation, Gemini is where the cutting edge is. You just have to be prepared for a seriously bumpy ride. For all you developers out there, ChatGPT's built-in code sandbox is still an absolute game changer. And of course, if your entire life is in Google Docs and Gmail, then Gemini's seamless integration is going to be tough to pass up. So here's the bottom line. The choice you have to make in 2025 is really a choice of philosophy. Do you go with the balanced, reliable creativity of ChatGPT, or the ambitious, revolutionary, and sometimes incredibly frustrating automation of Gemini? You know, it's the classic story of the tortoise and the hare, and for now, it really feels like the tortoise is winning the race when it comes to sheer reliability. And that leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. As AI stops being this cool new toy and starts becoming a basic utility, like electricity or the internet, what do we actually value more? Is it the flashiest, most cutting-edge features? Or is it the simple, kind of boring, but absolutely crucial promise that every single time you flip the switch, the light will just turn on?